with fish lettuce.
I want a salad. Hello, welcome to What I Eat in a Day video. It is early Saturday morning, like 6:45 early. I'm having my green tea, which I have every morning, and then I do my morning meditation, anywhere from 10 to 20 minutes. I use this app called Calm. So there's all these different options for meditation. Yes, this is LeBron James. He's a meditator. And when I meditate, I like to create this like little cozy corner that just sets the mood for the meditation. So I usually have some sort of plant or green thing or flowers next to me. I will dab my wrists and chest with essential oils like lavender or eucalyptus. It just kind of creates this aura. I don't know, it's very woo-woo, but I also love it. And then I also light a candle. This one is my favorite. I don't know if you can see it. It smells like Christmas trees. Oh, almost burned my nose. So I'm gonna finish my green tea and then we are going to, I'm gonna change out of my pajamas. And then we're gonna go to the farmer's market. There's one in Brooklyn every Saturday that we really look forward to. It's so nice to be able to get fresh produce without having to go to a grocery store right now. I'll show you what we get, but there are social distance measures in place at the market. We have to wear masks, can't touch anything, so it might be a little bit awkward to film. I don't know yet. I guess you'll have to wait and see in the next minute. If it is, probably will be awkward, but I'll show you anyways. All right, I'll see you at the market. So we're headed to the farmer's market. New York is always a little bit quieter on early this morning on a weekend, but it's extremely quiet these days for the last 10 weeks. You can go blocks without walking into someone at this hour, which is kind of bizarre for New York. I'll show you what it looks like. So yeah, pretty empty. It's just a new way of life for the time being.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Thank you.
Finished the farmer's market and now we're gonna head to one of my favorite bakeries. They have vegan pastries. I'm very excited. All right, we're back from the farmer's market. I am in the middle of putting stuff away, so before I put it away, let me show you what I got. First thing I want to show you are these strawberries. They smell so good, like the most intense strawberry flavor ever. I love going to the farmer's market, especially in spring. There's always so many great seasonal treasures. Another one that I got today is asparagus. It's peak season right now, and all you really need to do with asparagus is roast it with a little bit of olive oil, salt, and pepper, add some lemon at the end, or you could blanch it for 2 minutes in boiling water. I showed you how to do that in my last video on salads, and make a chilled salad out of it. Another spring item that I'm really excited about, I haven't gotten in a while, are chive blossoms. They're super cute. Last year I used the blossoms to make vinegar, chive vinegar, and I'll probably use the chives for like stir fries or garnishes. There are certain things I'll always get. If they have it, like kale, I always try to get lacinato kale, which I eat a lot. Max calls kale his sworn enemy, kind of hates kale. I think it's a wonderful vegetable. But the other items, if I don't have a specific list, I try to just look at what looks fresh, what's new at the market, what haven't I tried recently. Try to get a lot of colors because eating a colorful diet is good for you. So another colorful thing we got today is rhubarb. It's also a spring item. I might make some sort of jam or compote out of this. And another thing I got today was fennel. I love fennel. I think it's one of those underrated vegetables. And these kind of frizzy things here, these are the fronds. They are edible and they're great as a garnish on whatever you're eating, whether it's the fennel dish or it's a salad or a soup. And we also have some spinach here today. Lately we've been making a lot of vegan palak paneer. Palak paneer is an Indian spinach curry traditionally made with paneer, which is cheese. So I make my version with tofu. It's really good. We have some scallions. I buy scallions all the time as well. They're great in stir fries as a garnish and condiments. One of my favorite things, oyster mushrooms. If you don't like meat substitutes, like fake meat substitutes, but you miss those umami meaty flavors, oyster mushrooms are a great way to get that meaty flavor and that meaty texture without eating meat. Another thing I have today are salad greens. Unfortunately, right now, because of the pandemic, you can't touch anything at the market, and a lot of farmers will just pre-bag stuff in plastic. So I don't love to use plastic. I really prefer to use my own bags when I shop, but it's just not really possible for many of the farmers today. I have some arugula here. And then this, the farmer said it was floret. It looks like florets, like little flowers. She said you could eat it raw or stir fry it, so we'll give it a try. But I love going to the farmer's market for stuff like this because I know it's gonna be fresh, I know it's gonna be flavorful, it hasn't traveled thousands of miles. I'm gonna put all these groceries away. I'll check in with you later when it's time to break my fast, perhaps with a pastry. Look at this. This is a peach Danish. How cool is it that I can get a vegan peach Danish? So cool. It's almost the size of my face, which is wonderful. So I haven't eaten anything all morning. I've been fasting. Most days I do intermittent fasting, which is also known as time restricted feeding. This is the first bite of the day. It's a great first bite of the day, to be honest. It's so flaky. All right, so intermittent fasting, please don't take this as advice for yourself. This is just my personal experience. Since I've been doing it regularly, I've noticed that it has retrained my brain to recognize when I'm truly hungry versus like when I'm bored or when I'm stressed or when I just like am feeling very snacky. Because before I break my fast, I am truly hungry. Like I feel the hunger pains. It's not that I don't ever eat when I'm stressed or bored, I certainly do, but I feel like my body now understands it a little bit better. It is so peachy. That is why I'm doing this video, because I want to show you that my diet is a mix. It is a mix of, yes, wholesome plant-based food that I cook at home that is really good for you, but it's also a mix of delicious flaky pastries made with flour and real sugar that maybe aren't that nutrient dense, but do make my heart and soul happy. And I think that's a big part of being healthy, is being happy and not depriving yourself. I'll check in with you when it's time to make lunch. All right, it's time for lunch now. So I'm coming to the kitchen. We've been working on my website this morning, trying to get in place some new changes, development-wise, design-wise. It's very boring and not something I'm actually good at. I prefer the creative stuff. Luckily, Max is a lot better at this stuff than me, so he is taking the lead on it. While he finishes up a few things, I'm gonna make lunch. It's gonna take 5 minutes, and I'm gonna put the camera down, and I'll show you what I'm making. I cooked some lentils in my Instant Pot this morning before we left for the farmer's market. So these are black beluga lentils. I'm not sure what this looks like. It probably just looks like pebbles. I'm gonna mix the lentils with some herbs and balsamic vinegar and salt, and then we're gonna have it with some hummus and fresh baguette. Cilantro, parsley. I'm gonna add a little bit of both to this. Got some fresh herbs now, and this is just gonna make this a lot more flavorful. Then I'm gonna add some balsamic vinegar. This, I think, is one of the best balsamic vinegars. It is really thick and syrupy, and it's been aged for, I don't know, many years. I don't know how many years, but it's so good. You really just need a little bit. Some sea salt. I wasn't planning to add any olive oil. I thought the balsamic vinegar might be enough, but it needs just a tiny drizzle to help it all come together. We have a baguette to eat. It's a buckwheat baguette. Oh, Max, did you eat some of this baguette already? For snacking. I'm just gonna make us little sandwiches like this. First, we're gonna use some hummus. This is just store-bought hummus. Sometimes I make my own hummus, but sometimes I don't have time, and I use store-bought hummus, and it's fine. It's delicious. Then I'm gonna take some salad greens. These are salad greens we have from last week's farmer's market that we haven't gotten through yet. These ones with the larger leaves are sunflower shoots, like sunflower seed. These skinnier ones, pea shoots. Very cute, very cute. outside?
Yeah, sure.
I'll eat salad. That's always a good thing. All right, these are the rest of the microgreens. And this is my lemon garlic vinaigrette. I showed you how to make it in my last video, all on salads. It's very easy, but super flavorful. Bon appetit! That's me talking to Max, who doesn't want to be on camera. Well, it's a little too messy to eat on camera. What do you think?
It's very good. It's very messy though.
Oh, put it on your face. Weather cleared up, so we're going on a walk with our masks on. Mask on. Say hello.
Hello?
We're kind of matching our clothes too, which is always fun as a couple. It doesn't embarrass Max at all.
Nope.
It's kind of a weird time in New York when you can walk where cars are supposed to go, but it's actually kind of nice. We're coming up on my favorite house. It's really, really cool.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Nice.
It's time to make dinner, but first things first, we gotta put the apron on. I am very clumsy, and I will most certainly spill something at some point. I'm gonna make kind of a sheet pan dinner, so I'm gonna clean and toss the mushrooms with some seasonings. I'm gonna do the same thing with the tofu. First, I'll press it, put it all together in a sheet pan. It goes in the oven, cooks at the same time. It's very convenient. I love sheet pan dinners for that reason. I've never made this particular recipe before, but I've made similar things like it, so I think it should work. If it doesn't work, I'm probably still gonna eat it. Before I start cooking the mushrooms, I'm going to press the tofu. For the oyster mushrooms, really all you need to do is remove the individual mushrooms. Oyster mushrooms aren't that dirty, so I'm not gonna thoroughly wash them, but I am gonna just kind of clean them off with a damp paper towel. And if they're really big like this, I'm gonna cut them in half. Max, do you wanna say hi to the camera? No, he doesn't. He doesn't want to say hi. Max, do you like mushrooms?
No, they're disgusting.
I don't think they could hear you.
They're disgusting.
But do you like oyster mushrooms?
Yeah, those are pretty good.
So when you said you don't like mushrooms, that's not entirely true.
It's not entirely false either.
This is what I deal with on a regular basis. Because oyster mushrooms are so flavorful, I'm gonna treat them very simply, just oil, salt, and pepper in the oven. lining a rimmed baking sheet with parchment paper, and I'll just add the mushrooms directly to the pan. So technically this is gonna be a 2-sheet pan dinner because I will need a separate sheet pan for the tofu. But if you're just making this for like 1 portion or even 2 portions, you could do everything on 1 pan. I have a few other ingredients to add. This is what's gonna give the tofu a little bit of a crispy, crunchy exterior. I've got arrowroot powder, and that's gonna coat each piece of tofu to give that, I wouldn't say it's like crunchy, but it's a little bit crispy. And then again, use your hands and be gentle to make sure all the white powder is dissolved. If there's any white powder left, just go ahead and snort it up. Just kidding, don't do that. And then I'm gonna use some panko, which are these Japanese style flaky breadcrumbs. If you're gluten-free, they do sell gluten-free breadcrumbs and gluten-free panko, so you could do that. And finally, some sesame seeds. These are black sesame seeds, but white sesame seeds also work. And now I'm just gonna add the tofu to another lined sheet pan, and make sure each of the tofu cubes is standing 6 feet apart from one another. That is the safest way to cook tofu. And if you can, make a little mask out of some panko breadcrumbs and sesame seeds. The tofu really likes to have a mask on. So I'm gonna bake these in the oven with the tofu. While that's happening, I will make the rice noodles and the sauce. Tofu and mushrooms in the oven, so I'm gonna make the sauce. I'm starting by grating some fresh ginger. I like to use a microplane to grate it. I think that's the easiest way. It's very hot in here, so if you see me sweating, it's because the oven's on and it's hot. Really go for like a cool, crisp glass of wine right now.
You want some wine?
Yes? This is the elusive Max, also cameraman, also occasional dishwasher, and wine retriever. He is a man of many talents. Some might say he's a Renaissance man. He doesn't like my jokes, by the way. That's why you don't hear him laughing. For the sauce, I'm also gonna use some fresh garlic, and I'm going to use a garlic press to make sure that it's finely crushed. So for the rest of the sauce, the base is almond butter. I'm just gonna put 4 tablespoons in a bowl and microwave it. That's another beep. Why are all these things beeping? And then that will make it a little bit smoother and easier to work with. I'm gonna add a little bit of soy sauce or tamari. That will be the saltiness in the sauce. Add some sriracha, so it's gonna be spicy. We like it very spicy here. I'm using 1.5 tablespoons, which is a lot. If you're making this and you're sensitive to spicy food, just use a little bit. Also gonna add a little bit of sweetness to balance the spiciness and the acidity. And then a little bit of sesame oil. Again, the toasted sesame oil is super flavorful and concentrated. And then normally I would use rice vinegar or lime juice for this, but Max brought home some Chinese black vinegar, is that right? And he really, really wants to use it. He's very excited about using it. I assume that it's more potent than regular rice vinegar. Whoa, it is, for sure. So I'm just gonna start with 1/2 tablespoon and see how that goes. And now it's time to add the garlic and ginger. This is what I call multitasking. It's quite thick, so I'm gonna add some water to thin it out. It's time to give it a taste. I have no idea what it's gonna taste like. That black vinegar is like a wild card. It's very good. It's quite spicy. All right, noodle time. This is some rice noodles. Pour this on top for about 10 minutes. Now let me show you the tofu. The mushrooms need probably 5 or 10 minutes longer, but the tofu is looking very perfect. All right, I think the mushrooms are done. They look pretty golden, dark brown to me. They're glistening. The noodles just need a few more minutes, so in the meantime, I'm gonna chop up some chives as our garnish. Now add the tofu. Chewy, crispy, so much umami. It's very good. Now let us make some lettuce cups. You're welcome. I'm here all night. Here we go. That's good. It's messy, for sure. Overall, great success on this dinner that we are going to eat after I eat that first one. We will probably finish this delicious sparkling red wine, and that's about it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Hi everyone, I want to say a few things. First, if you saw at the beginning of this video, all ad revenue from this video will be donated to the Equal Justice Initiative. They do incredible work behind racial justice and criminal justice and prison reform. If you want to learn more about their mission, I've included their website in the description box, and if you're able to donate, that's awesome. If you're not able to donate but still want to support the cause, you can replay this video while you're going for a run or showering or whatever it is. Just don't skip the ads, because that means more ad revenue will be donated to the cause. Secondly, I want to apologize because I've cared deeply about racial justice for a long time, but I've kept it in my personal life and have never really talked about it in my professional life until recently, because I thought that as a vegan food blogger I should stay in my lane and only talk about vegan food, and I now know that is ridiculous. And that is on me, because I'm a human being who cares deeply about human rights issues, and I came to veganism because I wanted more compassion and more justice, and that compassion and justice obviously must begin with our fellow human beings. And I apologize for not making this part of my platform before. I'm committed to doing that going forward. If you want to stay up to date with what I'm working on, you can always follow me on Instagram. I share a lot more there. But I am not an expert in these issues, which brings me to my final point. In the description box below, I've also included a lot of resources that have helped me along the way to learn more: books, podcasts, documentaries, things like that, as well as other ways you can get involved in this fight for racial justice. I think we all have a role to play in this movement. I hope you find something that inspires you. Thanks for listening, and be well.